What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Marcus from Team Takeover. Welcome to video number 4 of Nats Recap. Like I said, we're just shooting these videos back to back to back. Okay? Sorry, I have to adjust something on my phone real quick. I'm trying to make sure that everything's uploading correctly to my channel. Just making sure that everything's going correctly. But yeah. Tech cards of Nats. Going into this event, it was insane to try and tech for this event. First off, my leader was a tech in and of itself. Cell's Birth was a tech because it helped me get the edge in the Android mirror. You Cell chain me on turn 2. I can do the same thing, especially if they're on the play. Cell's Birth also allowed the 5-drop to be played. Absurd. And I was one of the only players in the event to actually be able to play it because I was playing the Cell leader. Woo! Felt great. Super 17 was a monster all weekend for me and for pretty much anyone else who played it. If you did not plan on playing in Super 17 and you played Janemba, you died, brother. You died. You got wrecked. I wrecked everybody with Super 17 this weekend. It was the card that sealed the fate of every player that I played that I won and every game that I won. I want you to know, I only 2-0'd people. I did get 2-0'd in round 1. I 2-0'd people, and every other game went to game 3, and one of those games finished in 10 minutes. That was my quick 2-0. It was fantastic. Super 17 was absurd. If you did not prepare for that card this weekend, you got annihilated. It was just that simple. The next key tech card of the weekend was King Vegeta's Surprise Attack. Got him! Bro, this card was everywhere. If you saw a green energy open and did not prepare to run into this card, oh boy, you got clapped. You got clapped, bro. And it was absurd. This guy swings into my 5K tapped Gohan with his Cell, thinking that he's going to I'm going to swing at this real quick, and I'm just going to eliminate your card off the board. You just lost a 30K double strike, bud. Have at it. Go right ahead. Deadly Defenders. They had to attack something. If they had to attack another Deadly Defender card, they ran right into that King Vegeta Surprise Attack. No barrier for you, brother. Nice knowing ya. Have a good day. And then you just dropped your bombs and you killed them because they're like, I was planning on defending that card. Don't attack me. And it was fantastic. Tech card. This is probably one of the tech cards of the weekend, if not the MVP tech card of the weekend. To give you an idea of how good of a card it is, if you played against Storm, and I heard this happen multiple times, people drop Deadly Defender, leave a green open. All of a sudden, Storm player would be like, swing into Deadly Defender, pump it up to 20, 25, whatever, and then drop King Vegeta's Surprise Attack on a Deadly Defender 18 that was pumped up by 5K. And then all of a sudden it's a 30K revenge, must attack it for the turn, and Storm's like, pass. And then Saul and Android players like, get him! It was fantastic. Other tech cards of the weekend. I'm just going to give Hercule as a leader tech card of the format. Why? Those Hercule players, you're a bunch of trolls, okay? You sneaking up in there, getting matchups that you should not have been playing against. You should have known better to play Hercule. Hercule should not have had any success. Janemba should have been everywhere being like, where them Hercule players at? Let me mill them real quick. And that's what the way it should have been. You should not have been playing it. And because you did play it, you beat people all weekend. And it was absurd, dude. Hercule was just everywhere, and it was amazing. I saw Golden Frieza player. Shout outs to the Frieza Army players. Those guys, there was a sorbet leader on stream. Golden Frieza was played by a few people, and it was just awesome. There were people who were just kind of like, I gotta try this, I gotta try this, I gotta do this. It's just, and it's gonna work out. Next tech card of the weekend, Kami. Bro, Kami is so serious. He's so serious. He's so serious, dude. If you played Veggies and you ran into a Kami, Bro, it felt bad, brother. It looked bad. It must have felt bad. It had to feel bad. It was bad, okay? This card draws a card, and then it's like, bro, watch me stunt on you real quick. Alright? Right, bro. And then Kami was a threat to anybody who went wide. Like, and it was honestly like one of those things. Why did you play to that card? Like, you knew that card was in the game. Like, stop, stop. And then oh man, there are two other cards right next to Kami. Is good old Dende. Good old Dende. Bro, the Shenron players were out there stunting all over you Objection players. If you played Objection and your opponent was playing a Shenron deck, you immediately regretted playing Objection. I heard this guy looped 6 energy with Child's Wish and Dende. You cannot make up how frustrating that must have been. You were stuck at 6 energy. Not 6 energy. 3 energy. This guy, Shenron, played Shenron. He Dende looped somebody 6 times and kept them at 3 energy while still playing more cards. Oh my gosh, that has to be frustrating. It has to be frustrating. Has to be. Other key tech card of the weekend, that Dangerous Journey Bulma. I think that's the name of the card. The card that puts 3 cards back into the deck, so it helps the Janemba matchup. Again, an absurd card to bring back with Child's Wish. It was really good for Shenron players. There's like, I drew 14 cards deep already with my Dragon Balls. Time for me to put some cards back or I'm going to die. Like, that's pretty much how that went. Janemba was having a field day with Shenron players. If you were, listen, if you're a Shenron player, you were cute this weekend. All right, one of my teammates, he was playing some cute tech. All right, not the actual players that were cute. I'm just saying their deck lists were cute. But here's basically what was going down. Shenron players, they knew what this was. Right? They were like, I play bombs. If I get to my bombs, which I'll talk about, one of the bombs that should have never been made. But they're like, if I get to my bombs, good luck, brother, because I'm playing about 2 to 3 of them per turn, and you're going to do nothing about it. And that's just basically how you felt when you played against Shenron. But, oh boy, was Janemba like, yes, please draw 14 more cards. To give you an idea of how serious Janemba was just shrekking Shenron players, I'll do some math for you. There's 50 cards in your deck. There's 6 cards in your hand to start. Excuse me. 6 cards in your hand to start, 8 in life. That means you're starting with a 36 card deck. You play 7 Dragon Balls, that cuts you down now. If the 7 Dragon Balls are in your deck, that means of the 36 cards in your deck, you are now down a total of 14, meaning that you are at 22. Because the 7 cards removed from your deck, plus the 7 cards that you draw for that. That is not up to including if you play Personal Ambition. Everyone who played Personal Ambition this weekend immediately felt that they should not have probably played Personal Ambition. Great card, except for it draws you an extra card, which means, bleh, okay? Other problem being, Shenron players ran into this across the board. The fact that you play Objection, the fact that you play a Child's Wish or World Peace, the fact that you play 7 Dragon Balls, the fact that you play Personal Ambition, the fact that you play Nimbus, the fact that you play Battering, means you play a ton of extra cards. And Janemba's just like, yeah, that's fine. Go ahead. Renegate me. And I'm going to then eat your deck. And this is the other thing. Flying Nimbus was horrible against Janemba. Flying Nimbus was probably one of the most useless cards all weekend. Why? People went tall, not wide. Which means, if I swung at you with Super 17 and you played Flying Nimbus, guess what you just lost? A bunch of cards. If you're playing against Janemba, guess what it does? It plays Reality Bender and Demon Sword in one turn. Congrats, that's it. You Nimbus, only the 3 cards, the 3 attacks I was going to get, I was going to do anyway. You lost 2 more cards in your hand. Thank you. And now you just lost 6 cards in your deck. Thank you. So, not good there. The only thing that it would have been good against is Storm, which won the event, so I can't say that it wasn't a relevant deck. But the one deck that I prepared for, Storm, I didn't play once. There are people who prepared for Storm, didn't play it once. Didn't play it once. Like, didn't play it once. It must have, like, one got to the top tables and just stayed there all day. Like, that's where it must have been. The rest of the field was full of Android players. Android players. It's Androids. Like, what are you going to do? Like, they can go wide if they want with blockers. They don't have to. Like, they don't have to. They can assess the matchup and be like, yes, go ahead, play Kami. Kill my cell chain that's already ripped you to nothing, and my 2 free blockers with my other Android 17. Because it's not like I can't play, like, all my Android 17s again next turn for, like, 2 of them for 4 energy. Like, come on. Like, so, that was the thing. It was just a thing. The other thing is this. Kami was, like, while powerful, like, also underwhelming in a lot of ways. So, like, if this is kind of crazy. Like, Kami is a key tech card, which I'm going to get into the big bomb of the weekend. But Kami is a key tech card was fantastic, right? But then people got on that, like, if Shenron's playing a bunch of, like, 5 or higher drops, and it don't matter how wide they go with those things, if they can go multiple wides with those, Kami does nothing. This just does nothing. Like, at that point, you change Zeno, and Zeno was bad. Like I don't know what happened. I'm going to be real with you. Zeno is not enough anymore. It's just not. Zeno's not enough because the cards that you're resetting back into their deck and then making them draw, 5 cards could be enough. It could be enough. I got Gogeta, which I should just probably talk about the card. That was the biggest bomb of the weekend. Gogeta. That card, when it dropped, affected the game immediately. If you didn't draw an A-Gate or something afterwards, you probably died. If the 4 drop Shenron was on the board next to it, it was 35k triple strike that just made your hand 3. And you didn't get to keep the cards. You had to shuffle them back in, draw 3 new cards. I was beat by Gogeta in one of my Hercule matchups purely because of the fact that he shuffled my A-Gates back into the deck, and I didn't draw one. Like, that card was absurd. The fact that thing can be played for 5 energy is dumb, man. And people were objecting all day, and then Dende was, like, looping it. And so there was a ton of counterplay in that regard. And so, like, key tech cards of the day, that was just absolutely insane. All of those cards that I just mentioned, I'm not going to relist them all for you. They impacted the day one way or another. And so it was really, really imperative that you prepared for that. It was imperative that you prepared for Mira, Creature Absorbed, clearly. I heard that in the final game in Nats, it won all 3 games in one way or another. So, like, yeah. Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of other really good cards that were played throughout the weekend. Those were the key cards that people were playing. There wasn't anything that, like, stood out specifically other than Gogeta. I guess this was the other thing. Shenron players also got cute, okay? And they were like, screw my win con. I'm actually going to just play this Demigod now and rip 4 cards from your hand. That was adorable. Yeah, all you Shenron players doing that was cute, okay? My cell was just like, thanks for 3 more cards. Oh, and by the way, your Demigrod's toast now. It felt so good to KO Demigrod with my cell leader effect. Oh gosh, that was fantastic, guys. Can't explain enough how great that felt. Yeah, it must be nice. That perfect cell privilege must be nice. Anyway, that pretty much summed it up. People were playing bombs left and right. The 5-drop Gogeta was way more underwhelming than, like, I thought that it would be going to the event. Because it just seemed like Goku and Oob and draw 2 cards for 4 energy felt really too good. But at the same time, like, the 7-drop was undoubtedly better. And it was undoubtedly, like, felt way more than anything else. And then Storm. Like, Storm was just the deck. I guess you can say Hirudegarn Garden was the tech for the weekend. Clearly, it was fantastic. Honestly, I didn't think it. I thought that if you were going to win with Storm, it was going to be Trunks. Personally, it just felt that it recovered better against Cell Chain. It felt that the free blockers did more for you. It felt that it drew as many cards while not being able to manipulate those resources simultaneously. Trunks just felt better across the board. In my testing, I tested against Trunks because I thought that Trunks was the best deck. But Hirudegarn won it out, so it is what it is. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for the tech cards of the weekend. I'm going to get into the next video talking about the events, side events, and things itself, things you could have got, and what Nats was just like as an ending overall experience. So stay tuned for the 5th and final video in this series installation of my Nats recap. And this is Marcus from Team Takeover, signing off, guys.